Are you been in touch with this on the last 48 hours?
The last 48 hours? I saw him yesterday when he dropped off the stuff. Why?
Well, yeah. Well, make sure he knows what's going on.
Oh, yeah, he knows.
You should.
Alright, so let's get this meeting started. Today is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. I now call this meeting of the Madison College Student Senate General Assembly to order at 4:33 p.m. Thank you. And at this time, I would like to say welcome to our General Assembly meeting of the Madison College Student Senate. This is a public meeting and will be recorded for transparency and direct conversations. We're going to cover a few basic items before beginning. If you lose connection at any time during the meeting, you can reconnect by clicking the link or calling the number in your original email. To the senators and other members online, please activate your video and keep it on for the duration of the meeting. If possible, use the raise hand feature when you'd like to be recognized to speak, ask questions, or request a roll call vote as chair. As to call on committee members, the order in which hands are raised, lower your hands if you have the cue. And at this time, may I please get a roll call?
Sure thing. Starting with our executive council, so I have President Jose Villarreal.
I'm here present.
Thank you. Vice President Administration and Finance, Quinn Matson. I am here. Vice President Legislative Affairs, Bradley Burt.
Here.
Thank you. Vice President Team Development, Corey Sertzel. Excused. Thank you. Vice President Public Relations, Ari Nichols.
Here.
Thank you. Advisor Cole Caliocrado.
Here.
Thank you. Moving on to our general senators. We have Senator Sanjay Jagadish.
Here.
Thank you. Senator Annette Crowder.
Present.
Thank you, Annette. Senator Ashley Larson. Excused as well. Thank you. Senator Nadine Batulga.
Here.
Thank you. Senator Ayman Adam Sharafuddin.
Present.
Thank you. Senator Ash Rogers.
Present.
Thank you. Senator Donovan Juarez.
Present.
Heard. Thanks. Senator Avery Holte.
Present.
Thank you. Senator Ida Wilmo.
Present.
Thank you. Senator Sierra Brunner.
Here.
Heard. Thank you. Moving on to our regional and metro campuses. Portage Senator John McCray.
Present.
Thank you. Reedsburg Senator Furkan Sindar.
Present.
And Goodman South Goodman South Senator Bethany Bauer.
Present.
Thank you. We have met quorum.
All right. Now we'll read the minutes for approval. Last week we met October 16th. It was a order of a regular General Assembly meeting. We had we did a public comment from Cody White, who's the finance manager. He gave us a fiscal year budget overview of 2026-27 fiscal year. We also had the director, Dr. Mark Thomas. He gave us an overview of what's going to be coming in and what his purview is. We had a student liaison from the district board who is still with us here today, Hassan Ashmi. We had a team building, did we have a team building activity or did we table that? So we did not have a team building activity. Table for the sake of time. We had disclosure and recusals. Nobody disclosed or recused anything. We had reports from officers, advisors, and standing committees. We had no unfinished business. We did have some new business. We also had some announcements, and we adjourned for the meeting at at the end at 6:26. The minutes being read out, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Motion made by Senator Jagadish, seconded by Senator Crowder. I'd open up now for discussion, in person or online. Seeing none, hearing none.
Discussion.
Discussing, Vice President Clemente.
Yeah, 2 points. I would like to update or amend the minutes to properly reflect VP Burt's report. The minutes, just that I mixed up resolution 2 with resolution 1, or the date of presentation of resolution 1. Under VP Burt's report for Rules and Legislative Affairs Committee, yes.
Yeah, we'll move that to the executive council next week. That'll remain the same.
So your point of discussion is an amendment to the minutes, the clerical amendment?
Yeah.
I would accept that. You would accept? And Senator Crowder, would you also accept? Okay. Knowing that and seeing that, is there any other discussion on the amendment? Okay. I'm going to take a vote of unanimous consent in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Motion is passed. Minutes passed. We will now move into the agenda for the day. On the agenda, we do have a guest speaker, and he's going to be here for public comment, and he'll have about 5 minutes, and we can also extend that time if anybody wants to have any more discussion with Dr. Nathan Dowd. He's the new manager and director of the SAC library and everything else that incorporates in that department. So we will have him for public comment. We will have the table team building activity. Our vice president is not here. We will have disclosures and refusals, reports from officers, advisors, standing committees, reports from special and select committees, reports from regional and metro campuses. We would also have reports from college assembly shared governments. And we have some new business, a resolution on the line. Understood. Then with that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Second motion.
Motion made by Vice President Quinn Mattson, seconded by Senator McRae. I would open up for
I would like to motion to approve it with an amendment.
Okay.
The amendment being that we should, with approval of those present on team development, not table the team building activity, because I was told that it would be led by other people aside from VP Sertzel. Senator Sindar told me yesterday that he was going to be helping lead the team building activity. Is this still correct? Can you run it without
I will.
Corey?
For sure.
Okay. I don't know who else is on team development, so I don't know if there are other people who are going to help lead this, but
Senator Bauer.
I can second what you say, the amendment, with the amendment, right?
yeah. Oh, I think
Or how did that go?
One at a time. I mean, it's going to be.
I'm including it in my original first.
Okay. Advisor Cole.
Just point of information, there is no tabling of this one, so it's technically on the agenda as a point. So it was still bound to happen, even if Senator Sertzel wasn't here. So technically, y'all are good, but the team building activity still can operate as follows. The name next to it doesn't necessarily mean if they're not here that it won't happen.
Okay. For some reason, I thought we were taking. Okay. Then
Might have been my word. Okay. Well, so you withdrawing your amendment?
yes.
All right. That's fine. So with that being said, is there any other discussion?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that it, you said this at the beginning, but I want to formally motion that it be agended so that, I already forgot his name,
Dr. Nathan Dowd.
that Dr. Nathan Dobbs is officially added to the agenda for 5 minutes.
The motion that's made, the amendment made to the motion, would you?
I'll second
I would second that. Any other discussion on the amendment to the original motion to approve the agenda? Any online?
I don't think we need to make a motion to add someone to public speaking, because that's why it's called public speaking.
Yep, just for the sake of time though, I figured we just power through the parliamentary procedures and we'll get it going.
That's fine.
Senator Crowder. But I do think you do stand correct. Me and Vice President did speak on that earlier in the beginning of the meeting. He's entitled to 5 minutes of speaking time without having to modify the agenda. That's okay.
If you would like.
Yep, if he would like. And he formally accepted. So with that being said, any other discussion? All right, I take a vote in unanimous consent. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Agenda was passed with the amendment to formally put Dr. Nathan Dowd on the agenda for 5 minutes under public comments. All right, and now we will go right into it. Public comments. Dr. Nathan Dowd.
You actually have Hassan first.
Yeah.
So Hassan is technically first for public comment. Sorry to interject there, but
So he has,
Not on the group chat.
Yep. Good to go? Okay. We will hear from the student liaison to district board, Hassan Hashmi.
Good afternoon, everybody from New Orleans, Louisiana. It's a little bit warmer here, and although it's chilly in my room, but it's a little bit warmer outside, and the weather has been so great. I arrived here yesterday with the trustees of Madison College. They're having a convention, or the student or the community colleges Congress, where they have the trustees from all around the North American region and United States region, and then they get together and meet about and discuss about student policies, stuff like that affecting the students, and also how to develop leadership for the trustees in those colleges. And also Dr. Byrne, I just saw Dr. Byrne today, and also other administration staff, I saw them. So yeah, please interrupt me if you guys have any question, if the voice is not clear. I hope the internet connection is good right now. But I just want to thank the Student Senate for giving me the time to speak about support for this initiative, for the Halal Food Initiative. I also want to thank Senator Mattson for inviting Kim Henderson for next month. I believe it was like the first 2 weeks of November. So thank you for that, and I'm looking forward for that meeting also. I think where we reached out at a point, we know why this initiative matters and why is it important. And I want to focus on the next step and the next direction, and how we can make progress and what it looks like for the next steps. Saying it in words is easy, but putting it in action, that's really hard. And that's been the challenging part of it. So far, like I said, it was, as you guys, I hope, President Villarreal passed some sort of a presentation. It was from last week. I just printed it, and I forgot to print it last week. And also the part of the presentation where it says the whole year breakdown and the work that have been and the foundation have been put in through that initiative. We also met with the dining services over the summer, discussed the logistics, the issues like the cross-contamination, the storage issue, and also the cost. It's obviously there's a cost here. I also wanted to thank the team, the dining team, for their openness and then willing to work on it, and they have asked me for a clear structure and a future vendor plan. So right now, as the foundation is here, the communication, the relationships, and everything is here, what is clearly missing is the next step. One of the things that I was thinking, for example, is a lot of people ask me, how do you think the future going to look like? One of the things I was thinking is to create, for example, a task force where like we have one representative from the Senate, one representative from the CIE, the Center for International Education, or not necessarily one, but multiple representatives from different organizations, different clubs, to really expedite and help the dining services putting this plan together. The other plan I was thinking about is maybe, for example, a pilot program where the vendor services like starts like a little bit like with only one item, get the analysis, get the data on it, see how much demand there is, and then it's much easier for them to like, work with one item rather than 2 or 3 items in the dining hall. This would make it easier for the dining services. I also want to thank the CIE, the Center for International Education. They have also given me ideas and more like making it awareness for the other students and how we can really implement this, for example, in the International Education Week. I know one of the things that the CIE or the Central for Education is working on is to like put international food on the International Education Week, which I believe is like late November or middle of November. I really want to, before I stop talking, and I really look forward for your discussions here and your ideas and your thoughts. I want to thank President Villarreal and then Senator Sanders, I believe. I apologize for mispronouncing the last name, and also Senator Nichols for their advocacy and for their thoughts and ideas, and everybody really in the Senate has been really supportive of it this year. Yeah, and then I hope to see like this idea being really into an actionable plan, and working maybe in a task force, working with like, a pilot program or something, and more like I really want to get ideas and discussions about this and how I can move the trajectory to a next plan. So yeah, that's my end here. I'm looking for discussions and ideas on this halal food initiative.
Well, thank you very much for that detailed oral presentation that you gave, and I'll throw the compliment right back at you. Vice President Hassan Hashmi, former Vice President Hassan Hashmi, now Student Liaison District Board, right?
Thank you.
And with that, we're going to open it up to discussion. Senator Rogers.
We can ask questions for Hassan. Over the summer, you said you worked with dining services to problem solve around the halal food initiative. What actually items did they recommend that we could get done?
Thank you very much for this beautiful question. I really appreciate it. So that meeting was the first and the last meeting, unfortunately, or the last meeting technically. I'm planning to meet with them around the next 2 weeks. It's just that we need to settle on a time. So we have talked about a couple things. Really, it was unfortunately it was a lot of 101, like putting them to understand what is really halal food. For example, I went to a whole presentation last week with the Senate, or people who were in the Senate, about what is halal food. But the half of the meeting was about that. The other half was really the biggest issue that they're facing. I'm talking about here the technical stuff. The biggest issue is, for example, if you want to, let's say, I don't know, maybe this wallet here is a meat patty. If you want to grill a meat patty on a grill, they only have one grill. They do have a grill in the back, but they said like bringing the meat patty to back and front is going to be a problem for us. So the first thing is to have only one griller, or I don't know what's the proper vocabulary for a grill. And the other issue is obviously the cost it's a little bit more costly. It's just like, the black bean burger, the Beyond Burger is a little bit more costly than the regular burger or the regular meat patty. One of the solutions that we talked about is grab and go. For example, we have a refrigerator where we have like some kind of sandwiches in it, some kind of turkeys in Turex campus specifically. I'm talking about. We could implement that kind of idea to add like a chicken or another meat source in that sandwich, and then the dining services could sell it. So we did discuss some I would say not the problem here is not the proper word. I would say some challenges, but also we have discussed some solution about it. And that's was the meeting it.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns for our student liaison? Vice President Slim.
Crowder.
We will go to Senator Crowder first, and then we will turn to Vice President Madsen. You have the floor, Crowder. Senator Crowder.
Thank you. Hassan, what did they say about sectioning off the portion of the grill and only cooking I'm sorry. Can you say it again for me? Halal? I'm so bad with my pronunciations.
Halal, it's
Halal.
LL, yeah, halal.
Food, because I know we had talked about that last year about potentially, there's just a certain part of the grill that does not get touched by anything else.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Crowder. So just to be, there's a big issue when cooking something is cross-contamination. I always wonder, so there's a product in the dining services is the vegetarian burger or the black bean burger is the vegan patty. I don't know how they work specifically with that vegan patty. We could implement the same idea with the halal meat patty, just the cross-contamination cannot be happening with those non-halal and halal meat patty. They looks the same. The halal meat patty and the regular meat patty, they look the same. It's just the way that it's being processed through a company is differently. So that's why cross-contamination is the biggest issue. If I'm addressing your question right.
Yeah, I remember we had talked about them using like the allergy concept so that they would get the contamination through their head.
I love this idea. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to throw that back
Yeah.
out there again.
One of the potential ideas or potential answers to this challenge is like you mentioned, some people like the allergy concept where you have to treat the meat separately than the other meats. We could definitely discuss that, and I will gonna write this idea down. Thank you, Annette, for the next month when the dining services will come and give them a potential a solution for that. The other thing, I don't know if it's even like for next year or for next semester, the dining services could allocate a little bit of their budget to maybe buy some sort of a new grill or something for accommodate people who have different kind of restrictions on their food.
And then also, you remember the spot where we can get the $7 meals? That spot isn't used every day. So I don't know if that's a possibility too, it's right next to the bakery where you can get the $7 meal of the day, a couple days a week, and I think one day a week they do breakfast. I wonder if that area is a possibility too, because then if it's done like on the alternate days, then for sure there wouldn't be any contamination.
Exactly, and I love this idea. The other thing I want to really address here is like I have seen other senators approaching me, and also other students have approached me, and they told me they're from a different religion. Let's say they're Jewish, they cannot eat a certain type of meat, or let's say they're I do apologize here if I'm not being correct here. Hindu, they can only eat like some sort of they have also dietary restrictions. So this could become a broader idea for the dining services to really address those ethnics and those religions and those minorities on campus who really struggle with eating on campus. So thank you, Annette. Yeah.
Is there any other questions? Judge, Vice President Mattson, you have the floor.
Cool. I have a few thoughts that I'd like to share. First is that I don't believe we can put a grill where the special of the day goes, because it will not be under an exhaust fan, and the grills need to be underneath the exhaust fan per safe protocol, food service protocol. I've been thinking that the reason we talk about grilled food is because last year our initiative was centered around halal burger, providing that. I'm wondering if, like, maybe there are a lot of different things, there are a lot of different options. Ideally, they would all be on the menu. I'm wondering which ones we should start with. And one that comes to my mind is if we could make, instead of having a halal burger, we could do the special Monday through Thursday. If that could always be halal, that would give a hot food option to Muslim students here. At least Monday through Thursday. There's a chef's choice on Friday, so it's Monday through Friday. I believe that they do not serve a strictly vegan burger, so the Beyond Meat is grilled on the same grill and it may be cross-contaminated. It is a Beyond Burger. It is not a strictly like vegan option. But for a lot of people who eat vegetarian or something, it's still a good enough. But if that's not the case with people who are eating halal, then treating it the way they do Beyond Burger wouldn't work. The issue with treating it as an allergy is that their protocol for allergy is cleaning the grill because they so infrequently run into someone who has an allergy to meat and wants a burger. So they're not, I think, equipped to treat it as an allergy. I think adding specials as like making the special always halal would be a good way to like have a hot food option that's always safe. Like, you know, you can walk in and you can get the special and it's halal. Another option is like, I don't know if, you know, this depends what is most important to you and to other students who are seeking these options. Should we start with saying like, when you cook things for the cold options, the wraps and sandwiches, can those all be halal? Or is getting hot food options kind of your main goal here, and cold food is kind of a side quest? Yeah, I think, and I want to bring up one other issue, is probably signage. That's like a simple change that could go hand in hand with any other thing we decide to ask for. Adding signage so that people know what is halal and what is not halal. Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a little bit. I think the burger will be a really difficult ask because of the need for new grill that needs to be under the exhaust fan, which only has limited space. Perhaps, I know they do grilled chicken sandwich on a big panini press. Maybe a halal burger could be on a different piece of equipment that's less space costly. Yeah, if you have any ideas, what is the most important things to get on the menu, or what are the most important changes? Because there are kind of a lot of things we're aiming for.
Right. This is a very, very good question. So it's not about like, you know, I really want to see this. It's more about like what other students want to see. Additionally, what I can speak on is, of course, we're not a closer level to UW-Madison and how their budget and dining services works. But for example, they only have like two options. It's like either, I believe, like chicken tenders or meat patty. So they only have two options, and and they have a majority of they have more Muslim students, so more Muslim students than us. So that's a really good question. I won't be able to answer like what kind of a food we can really implement, because, you know, every food is different. Chicken tenders price is different than the cold, the cold wrap sandwich is different than the hot meat patty. So that's the thing that I would like to, and that's definitely, thank you, Mattson, or Senator Mattson, for bringing this up, because I can definitely talk with the dining people, or once they're gonna come on the next couple of weeks, and we could ask them like, what kind of a food really we can implement with not a lot of work, but also like impactful for their students. So I love this idea, and that's why I really wanted to meet with you all, so I can like see potential discussions and ideas about this.
Okay. President Quinn Mattson, you're recognized. Is there any other questions for our liaison?
One or two.
One or two in the chat. Let's request time to read those out, and we'll circle back 2 more times if it's appropriate.
If there's not time, it can be answered later on. I was just curious.
All right. Who do we have in the chat following Vice President Ari Nichols?
One was Stacy Burner, and then one was Beckham.
Okay. So we'll read out Stacy Burner's message. What about people with allergies? I know they use either peanut oil or soybean oil. They need to use either vegetable or canola due to the nut allergies.
I am not sure about like that's a definite question for the dining services when they're gonna come in the Senate. I'm not sure. We can use any oil. We can non-meat oil, so peanut oil, olive oil, soybean oil, anything that, or vegetable oils, even canola. We cannot, for example, use I don't know, I do apologize, I don't know if there's a meat oil, for example, or but we can use another oil called ghee. It's like a product of the milk. So we can definitely use or I can speak on behalf of the halal principle. They can definitely get any of the oil. It doesn't matter. All it matters is really the cross contamination between the oils. This is what it matters. I'm not sure if I Senator Berner, if I address your question properly here.
Senator Brunner, if you have anything following up for our student liaison, I would just ask, just to respect the time, if you can reach out to teams or an email. I want to get everybody in here. If you, Senator Bauer, you don't mind tabling your question to send it through teams or an email?
No, it's just a thought.
And then with that, I would call on Vice President Ari Nichols.
Yeah, so my main question is going to be, because obviously I know I've discussed it with you, and I've also talked to, included Furkan in these conversations about expanding the halal initiative to just a general food diversity initiative. And I guess my sort of wonder is, do you believe that that would be beneficial in actually implementing halal food, or do you think that that would subtract from it at all?
You're saying if the diversity in food initiative would be helping the halal food, right? This is your question, if I'm understanding it correctly. Yeah, I would love this idea. I didn't have this idea unless I met with you, Senator, and then also the CIE committee, which Senator Furkan holds it. So I actually love this idea, and I would really, I would make it as a thing that I would love to see it as being accomplished, being diverse in food in the dining service.
Yeah, for our last minute, go to Vice President Lynn.
It would be really helpful if we're trying to represent other voices, that we had input from those other voices. With Muslim students, we've heard from you. We're also in touch with Muslim Student Association. The point of clarification I wanted to bring up earlier is that Zainab Ali, president of Muslim Student Association, has been invited to join us in the first half of November. Kim Henderson has not gotten back to us, but I have faith that she'll reach out, because she's always been good about coming in. If we're gonna try and do kosher, it'd be great if we could either survey or talk to some group or somebody who can speak for them. If we're gonna do if we're gonna talk about vegetarian options, we need to also speak to students about that. So I don't know who we should talk to, but I think we should talk to somebody about that.
One other question. Sorry.
We will give the ending remarks to our liaison. You got about 20 seconds. I would always entertain for more time if it's really pressing, but I would suggest if it's not pressing to go ahead and email or teams them, unless you want something stated for the record.
I think it can fit 20 seconds. I have 20 seconds.
And then with that, if you don't mind holding back your comments, liaison Hassan, and then we'll get right to Senator Sindar for the last comment here.
Okay. This is just a comment, not a question. I just want to let you know, guys, the initiative about accessible food is so important for us. It's not, we will not gonna take bacon away from you. It's not gonna affect your life, but it's gonna affect our life too much. Since I came to America, I feel like I became vegetarian because my food options getting narrow and narrow. And I just want, I'm not crying by you, why might sound like that? I just want quarter pounder burger. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Sindar. And thank you for that excellent dialogue. District Board Liaison, Hassan Hashmi. You got to come back anytime, okay, bud? And with that, we were going to go right to Dr. Nathan Dowd for his comments, the next 5 minutes. And take the floor, please.
Thank you. I'm Nathan Dowd. I'm the new Director of Libraries and Academic Support Services, which means that I supervise all libraries district-wide as well as the SAC. I'm also the budget manager for the OER grant. And I wanted to come and just introduce myself, say hello, and make myself available for if you had questions either today or if you wanted to invite me back another time to speak on any issue that's in my areas. I'm more than welcome to come and speak. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, would anybody have any questions they would like to ask Dr. Nathan Dowd? In person or online? Senator Vice
So
President.
my main question for you is obviously, we know sort of your job title and the things you work on, but what does a actual day's work look like for your position?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my responsibilities sort of mean that my day-to-day is kind of broken down into a couple different areas. One of them is providing leadership to the libraries and the SAC. So I deal with all of the personnel, whether that be meeting with staff, talking to them about the jobs and the roles that they have, also all of the administrative duties. So I'm the one that works on and sets the budget for the libraries and the SAC, along with input from staff in that way, making kind of decisions about whether it be the library's website or hours that the libraries have, or other kinds of staffing decisions and things like that. So,
Thank
yeah,
you.
kind of overall, I would say policy setting and leadership of those spaces.
Very good question, very good answer. Is there any other questions? Advisor Cole?
Just remind me, how long have you been in your role? I know you're new.
Yeah, so that's actually a great question, because I'm a returning staff member.
Okay.
I was here as a staff librarian from 2004 to 2012. The last 14 years I've been at Edgewood University, and I've been back since September 15th. So this is my 5th week.
Okay, I can ask my second question then. Sounds good, thank you.
So, thank you coming for here today, because last Tuesday I speak with the person named is Angie Summers. She's from Writing Center, and I realized things before COVID. Every single regional campus or branch campus, I don't know what's the name right now, we have writing centers. But after the COVID, we don't have writing centers in the campus. I know we have some kind of virtual support, but my question is, we will have writing center in our regional campuses again.
Yeah, that's an important question, and I appreciate you asking that, because one of the distinctions in my role that's important to kind of know about is, while I manage the student achievement centers, the SACs, the writing center doesn't actually fall under that. The writing centers are part of the School of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, but we collaborate closely together and talk quite a bit and things like that. So that's from a student support perspective, and that's my focus. I'm also interested in seeing kind of more what I would describe as equitable support of students at the branch or regional campuses. And I think writing support goes along with that, whether that be part of the writing center or part of tutors in the student achievement centers that have a similar focus.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'd entertain a motion to extend the time. Motion made by Secretary Beach to motion to extend the time by 5 minutes.
I'll second.
Seconded by Vice President Nichols. I opened up for discussion in person or online. Discussion point, hand is raised by Hassan Hashmi. You're recognized.
Thank you, Senator President Villarreal. Mr. Nathan, I had a question a few years ago.
Hassan, we're gonna.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, right now this is the point where we're having a discussion on adding 5 minutes to the agenda to give them more time to speak, so that we may get people in to ask more questions. And this is point of discussion. So any discussion in person or online? Hearing none. Seeing none, I take a vote with unanimous consent. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Motion is passed. The time has been extended by 5 minutes. And with that, we will go to the next person in line for questions is Senator Vice President Art Nichols.
So you said you, while it's not under you directly, you do collaborate with the writing centers often, or that group, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so then, is that something that you've heard at all or know that that's being spoken about at all, bringing these writing centers back to, branch campuses? And if that is not something you've heard, is that something that you think, should be advocated for?
I would say in general, I think creating equal and equitable support for students at all of the branch campuses is something I would advocate for. I don't know of any specific plans to look at the writing center support at branch campuses specifically, but it would, you know, as the manager of the physical space in those areas, that would be something I would be in favor of discussing.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Vice President Quinn Mattson. Oh, actually, first we have Hassan.
I would lend my voice to Hassan Hashmi.
All right, Vice President Quinn Mattson has lended his voice to Hassan Hashmi. You have the floor, Hassan.
Thank you, Senator Mattson. Mr. Nathan, I had a question a few years ago, I think a year or two. There used to be online tutoring during weekends. I know it's very flexible for student, parent students, and some students cannot attend in person during the weekend. I was wondering if you're able to see if we could bring online tutoring during the weekend. It's very helpful for parent student who cannot attend in person in the Goodman South campus.
Yes, yeah, that is something that I am aware of, and myself and the manager of the SACs, Carolyn Schaefer, are looking at the budgetary aspects of that. Some of those changes to the weekend tutoring availability were made from a budgetary perspective, and that's something that we're looking at and hoping to kind of work on both in the 26-27 fiscal year and ongoing that way.
We will now go to Senator Ayush.
I don't know if you'd have an answer for this, as it's only your first time here, obviously, but what do you think the biggest issue you'd like to fix is? And if there's not really an issue, what do you feel like a major aspect you'd like to focus on?
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons that I came here tonight is I'd like to focus on making sure that the services that the libraries and the SAC provide truly match what the needs are of students. One of the really great things about this college is the diversity of programs. That's also a challenge when you think about library services as well as tutoring services. And that's another thing that I'd like to focus on too, is looking at how the libraries and how tutoring can support not just liberal arts transfer, but all programs. Now that will look differently depending on the academic area, or the technical area, and things like that. But those are kind of, at least in my first 4 weeks that I have in that way. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. All right. Do we have any other questions?
I have one question.
Yeah. Senator.
Do you also work with other systems libraries? Whereas like UW or any of the other institutions?
Yes. So we currently work in a couple of different capacities that way. One of them is, you may be familiar with interlibrary loan, which is where libraries can borrow materials, whether that be books, DVDs, articles, electronically or physical, from, quite frankly, any library in the United States, whether that be an academic college library or a public library and things like that. So we have networks that way. We're also part of a network of cooperative libraries called the Wisconsin Integrated Library System. And we've just started a new partnership that is in development. We haven't quite signed on to it yet. That's with the Wisconsin Integrated Library System, as well as the Wisconsin State Historical Society, for a program called Recollection Wisconsin, that would work to start digitizing and preserving the student work and institutional history of the college.
Well, thank you, Dr. Nathan Dowd, and we really do appreciate you coming in and saying hello. And I would like to formally invite you to come back, and we will send you a calendar invite. Me and Advisor Cole, and we will get you on for as long as you would like on the business-only agenda, where we bring in a couple of people to speak and have more formal.
That'd be wonderful. I would like that. Yeah. Anytime you would like me to come speak and you have questions or you want reports and things like that, I'm happy to do so.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we are now going to move on to our team building activity from the team building committee.
Thank you. So, hello everyone, I'm the new guy in the town. So, today I would like to ask you a question, because I like to ask questions, as John knows. Because with those questions we understand who we are, I think. My question for today, and this question, for all of us have one question, and for Jose Villarreal we have different question. So my question is for today, if you become a Senate president for one day, what the work you want to work on? Like, what do you want to do it? Instead of you are not John, you are Jose Villarreal, what's the thing you want to do it? Anybody want to start, or you will start?
I'll start.
Okay.
So,
President of Senate or president of?
the president of the Senate. So yeah, if I was the president of the Senate for one day, what would I do? I would honestly, probably, as the PR guy, I think I would use as much of that power as I can to really push just throwing a giant party at the end, and getting that organized and just using as many connections as I can in that one day, getting as many things signed off on as I can, so that I can just have a giant party here.
Okay. Mr. Burke, you want to move from there? Or?
Sure, I'll go ahead and state for the record, if I was the president of the Senate for one day, I would open a political action committee to protect me legally. That's all I got.
Okay. Queen Maxim, would you like to answer it?
What I would do if I was president for one day?
Yep.
Not much.
Not much.
No. What am I gonna get done in one day?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna-
Okay, let's do it not one day. Okay, you become a Jose Villarreal, what you gonna do? Like what?
Yes. It's called role swapping. I'd probably start trying to figure out the role, get to know people.
Okay.
Me, I was president, I think I'm just trying to force it in now. I gotta get as much experience as I can with the gavel, I just soak it all in, and then I'll go back.
I would play with the gavel too, actually.
If I was president Villarreal for one day, I would most definitely, or one day, or if I just became him overnight, I'd probably just shave my beard. Probably shave my beard, maybe get a tan.
Do you play with the gavel too, or?
I would definitely play with the gavel a lot. We would probably have like some mock trials. Some fun, some fun building. I wouldn't take it so seriously that it stressed me out, I think. I think I would really, maybe look at, the world in a different lens, yeah.
Is that? Would you like to move?
So I gonna abuse a little bit of my power. And I'm gonna put everybody to run in the parking lot like for 1 hour.
You will remove them?
No, I just gonna put everybody to run, just for fun.
Oh.
Yeah, and I gonna sit in one chair, that's all. Yeah.
Okay, that's a great idea.
I've actually thought about this. I would look at the top 5 countries that we have international students coming from, and we would take the top 1 or 2, and then we would take a group of Senate to go there and advertise Madison College.
Ooh,
That's really,
ooh.
Smoking
John,
John
would
there.
like with the gavel,
That's a good one.
Yes, then I would play with gavel.
and then you play with the gavel.
that feels like it.
Hope and pray it does not fall apart.
That's the magic of one day. You can't break it.
You can't screw up that
Are you
bad.
sure? We might be able to break the gavel.
I kind of like the idea of like the 100 conversations, so to like get to know students more and know more of the problems. I'd probably take the day just talking.
Okay, that's great. So let's like online. Juarez, would you like to start? I don't know where to look. Is it here?
Oh, yeah, they'll see you there, but they're gonna show up on here. I'll help you keep track.
Okay.
So Donovan?
If I was president for one day, I would try to buy 6 copies within one day, and I would also play with the gavel.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do that.
That's how I wanted to hear.
Senator Crowder.
Senator Crowder?
If I was president for one day, I would cancel the meeting and we would enjoy some time out doing something fun.
Okay.
Senator Iman.
Senator Ayman from Canada?
Just for it, I don't know. I can't think of anything, but I'll probably like, I don't know, like taking on a vacation or something like that.
You use up all your vacation.
All right, Senator Sierra.
Senator Sierra?
If I would,
That's zero.
I would do a bunch of community service initiatives with like Ronald McDonald House, the American Family Children's Hospital with the team.
It looks like lastly is Senator Nandy.
Senator Nandini Batuga, also team development member.
If I was president for a day, I would take the day off.
Okay, so
I like it.
I would like to reply, and then Cole can reply, and I can pose this question. My answer is, firstly, everybody can touch the television in the Senate room. That's the first thing I will do. Second thing, I will use some power for international students. I know also party is really good. And that's what I thought too. I will shave before the Senate meeting. And maybe I can do something tattoo.
Tattoo.
I like picking on you.
I'll put that down. I heard that tattoo.
So I have to be a student again. I guess you're telling me I have to be a student again?
Yeah.
Senate president.
Student Senate President. I don't want to be a student again. I go back to when I was a student. If I was student Senate President, I probably would see how fast I could blow the entire Senate budget and spend it all on whatever we could find.
Would you play with the gavel?
Big party.
Only if I could spend all the budget, then yes, I would.
Okay.
That would be my reward.
No, that would be the reward.
And Mr. Jose Villarreal, if you become one day Madison Area Technical College president, what's the first thing you will do?
Mm-hmm. And the first thing I would do is have exactly what Dr. Burns plans to do, and have 100 conversations. Get a good sample of the student body, a good sample of the needs, the wants, the things that the experiences that are positive and negative, and kind of formulate my own outlook. Definitely get a look at what I can spend the whole day doing that. Right? Walking around talking to students, teachers, eating in the cafeteria, walking from the parking lot, just get a feel. If I was president of Madison College for one day, that's what I would do is walk around.
That's great. Thank you guys for listening to me today.
Thank you for writing.
Do you want my gavel to play with that position?
Says I don't have a gavel.
Yeah, well, you should.
She's got a bigger gavel.
Oh, yeah, then she has the real one.
Yeah, so
She doesn't have a gavel.
Gotta get her one.
District board. Okay, now we're gonna have our report to officers, advisors, standing committees. And I will start off with the Executive Council and President's report.
Disclosures and recusals.
Disclosure.
Previous disclosure and recusals.
Thank you, Senator Rogers. I will circle, but I'm gonna move to disclosures and recusals, and at this time, I would ask anybody if they have anything to disclose or they want to recuse themselves from, this is the time appropriate for it. Anybody in person or online? Senator Rogers.
As an officer of the Gender and Sexuality Alliance Club here at Madison College, I will be recusing myself from the voting on the resolution under new business today.
Stated. Thank you. Those for the record. Thank you, Senator Rogers. Anybody else in person or online? And with that, we will now move into our reports of officers, advisors, and standing committees. And I will start off with our Executive Council and President report. The Executive Council did meet last Friday. We went over a little bit on time just because we wanted to formulate and get together. If you look at the chat, we sent out an interest form for our seat that we have, College Assembly, that we'd like to fill. So if you want to click on that link, answer some questions and send it back, our team will get together and we would move forward from there. So that's what I have for you. I would open it up for any questions, comments, concerns, in person or online. Vice President Nichols.
We want to clarify that if you are currently serving on shared governance, you cannot serve on College Assembly as well.
Yep, and that has not changed from last week. For the record, if you currently serve on shared governance, you would be barred from taking this position. Any other questions, comments? Okay. With that, we will now move to our Finance Committee. Vice President Mattson.
Yeah, Finance Committee met during the actual finance meeting. We again talked briefly about the 3-year plan, how we would modify it, how we would change it for next year's Senate. And we also oversaw 3 decisions by the club funding coordinator. 2 budget requests were approved and 1 payment request was also approved. Clubs have to request funds and then spend their own money, and then they will get reimbursed afterwards if they were approved to spend that money. That's all I have.
We'd open up for any quick comments or questions that we have for Vice President Mattson, in person or online. All right, seeing none, hearing none.
May I add one more thing? Sure. On the administrative side of my own position, you might notice I am not printing the minutes anymore if you're here in person, because we don't really take time during meetings to read through them. If you'd like a paper copy, just let me know and I'll make sure there's always a copy for you here. Otherwise, you've been emailed them 36 hours in advance.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll now move to our Team Development, Rules and Legislative Affairs Committee. Vice President Burke.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and run my time so I don't go over. First and foremost, my report today refers to the Transparency Act of 2021. I'm starting the Political Action Committee because I have taken the legal aspects of business organizations and have the knowledge on how to do so. I'm taking this subject matter into the radio industry to protect the FM Radio Society because it's under attack right now. So in my report, in Resolution 2, this is the ongoing stuff that we're dealing with in Senate, and I've decided that to better appropriate it, I shall read my statement during the Rules and Legislative Affairs Committee and take a approach where I'm not indirectly involved with Senate. I want when subject matter to come before me that I have absolutely zero knowledge of it. That's the best legal way of doing things. And that through this fist of Senate Incorporated, I have a political action vetting committee for the Senate's legislative affairs to protect my own best interest as a law student. There are things that are being overlooked that I see that people who aren't in the legal field don't see. And for that reason, for my consent alone in this Senate, I need this committee. So with this, this vets all legislative subject matter when usurping is in question. If I call point of order, I shall call point of order usurping from now on. That falls under the purview of Resolution 02 with exhibits and all subject matter found in the definitions of this bill. I also need to make clear that I sent out emails today to Student Senate email. In there, I've recused and removed President Villarreal. I did not realize after the deliberations we've been having since WSG and electing our governor that the president could not be involved in this. So for that reason, then I shall not bring this matter before GA, nor shall I seek any constitutional change. However, I shall change the way that we approach the Rules and Legislative Affairs Committee. So we discussed this thing called the delegates game for a topic of the day. That means that each week we're creating a business plan about the stuff that we're talking about for workshopping. And what I hope to do is sharpen this team to be an excellent on-air performer, to be an excellent town hall reporter, but most of all, an excellent parliamentary podcaster. So with that, also we talked about the ranking order of rules. I want to make clear today that according to Robert's Rules of Order, law is number 1, corporate charter is number 2, bylaws and constitution are number 3, rules of order are number 4, standing orders are number 5, and custom items of subject matter discussion are number 6. That is your rank and file. So in this situation, we've had situations come before the Executive Council regarding corruption happening. And I hate to say this, as much as I understand from studying Citizens United versus the FEC, corruption is free speech. I cannot stop anyone in this Senate from acting in a corrupt manner regarding discussing any subject matter about voting or the upcoming elections. However, I can recuse myself and will continue to recuse myself through Fist of Senate Incorporated. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Willie Bradley. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, I would ask you to teams them or send them an email. We were going to move now to team development. Vice President Sertzel, who is excused. So we will now move to Public Relations Committee, Vice President Ari Nichols.
Yeah, thank you. So, as anyone that has looked in the General Assembly chat saw, there was quite a bit of discussion about SNAP benefits and food pantries. And so that is something that I decided to tackle with my committee. So I have divided everyone in my committee into teams that are all going to be tackling different parts of this sort of process of making sure that all students here are aware that these food pantries exist and that they are eligible to get food from them, especially in a time where there may be food scarcity for them, or they may just not have very good options to them, afforded to them. And so if any of you are interested in designing things, reaching out to branch campuses, which I'll explain in a second, and or gathering information about community resources or resources we have here, please let me know. I would love to have as many people as possible included on this project, as I'm trying to work on a very tight deadline to ensure that we get this information and these benefits out there before the SNAP benefits completely shut down, or sorry, before they will no longer be refilled starting October 31st. So again, working on a very tight deadline. With that, I'm sure you've all now heard the term branch campus being used. So this is something that was decided on at a much higher level than us, and was brought to my attention during Student Affairs Council in the previous week, which I guess I'll elaborate more on what we actually did there. But so after talking to some of our branch senators, as they're now going to be referred to as for time being, it has been seen that maybe this is not the best term. So I will be going back to Student Affairs next month when they next meet and saying, hey, after receiving some student feedback and after talking to these student representatives, they actually do not like this term. So hopefully we will either get that switched back to regional, or at least something that, you know, isn't branch, because I'm with all you guys that branch just kind of sounds weird. You know, to me, not really a business. I don't know why we would have branches, and we're also not a tree. With that, that concludes my report.
All right. I would, very good report. I would ask if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, to please email or Teams Vice President Ari Nichols. And with that, we will now move to our advisor Cole, for your report.
Yep. I just put VP Sertzel's report for Team Development Committee. He sent it in an email just to have it for y'all to review as you go forward. The two big things is one, The deadline for if you'd like to attend WSG has just been updated. We have to move it up a day. So instead of being due by next GA, we have it due on Wednesday, the Wednesday before, so 6 days from today. The deadline for us to get all of our logistical information in is on Thursday. So if you'd like to attend, it is on Friday, November 14th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Hard start 10 a.m., 4 p.m. could be shorter or longer. Food is provided, and we will guarantee rides for folks to attend, whether that's one or multiple rental vehicles. I just need your commitment by next Wednesday, and I'll send that in an email as a follow-up to let you know of the updated date. The other thing to let you all know is that Director of Student Life Ellie Rome has a meeting with payroll on Friday of this week, or on Monday, sorry, Monday of next week. And depending on the outcome of that, that will determine our process for stipends. So President Villarreal and I are meeting on Friday to discuss stipends, get all that situated. We won't be pushing through paperwork on Friday because if the new process starts, it's as simple as putting numbers into an Excel document and calling it a day, which would actually save us probably a week's worth of waiting. So your stipends for the first half should be coming relatively quickly. It just depends on what we hear from payroll since they kind of dictate our process. But we're working forward on that, and all that kind of came up in the last 48 hours. So we have that there. So questions for me?
In person or online?
Can you know you?
I'll ask a question real quick, actually. So you gave us a quick overview. Do you have an ETA for when those stipends would hit bank accounts?
So my hope is every time we submit it, that they do release the stipends, should be on, cut the checks the Wednesdays following, unless it's a payroll week, and then it all kind of gets messed up. I never got an answer as to why the summer ones got pushed back so late. I truthfully had zero clue, and payroll told me it followed a typical schedule. So once I know what the actual process is, that is my first question to ask as follow-up is, if I submit these on a next Tuesday, what are the chances that they're to individuals before Thanksgiving? Because obviously my hope would be you get them well before then, right? That would be my question to ask them since they kind of dictate that. Question.
All right, and if you ever have any comments or questions when it comes to your stipend, please reach out to Advisor Cole and me, and we can do the best to assist you with any questions you have. Thank you, Advisor Cole. Now we're going to move to reports from special and select committees. And first on the list is going to be Student Activity Board, Vice President Manson.
Student Activity Board has not met since I last gave a report. We will next meet tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. I'll give a report next week.
Thank you very much. And with that, we're going to move to Textbook Affordability Committee, Senator Sharaf.
We're working toward helping more students learning about the OER. OER is like an open educational resources, free or low-cost learning material like textbooks, videos, worksheet that teachers can use and share openly. We're also encouraging publishers to follow our OER guidelines by 2026. And the progress is very slow, but however, we're moving toward the right direction.
Do we have any questions or comments or anything they would like to bring to our Senator Sharaf's attention, in person or online? Thank you so much for that. We will now move to our Inclusion and Belonging Coordinator, Senator Bauer.
I met with VP Thursday, his name, last Thursday. There was some parts of the position that I didn't understand, so I've been working with him to understand more my role like within the student body versus like towards Senate, and so that's all I have for the report. So I'm just gonna send some like quizzes out for students to take to make sure students like outside of Student Senate are feeling included. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If anybody has any comments or any questions for Senator Bauer, just please teams Senator Bauer or email Senator Bauer. We will now move to Public Safety Advisory Committee. Vice President Burt.
Thanks again. So this week, we just discussed, we're gonna change the meeting time to first Thursday of the month. Public Safety Advisory Committee originally met only once a month. We see the only reason why is that there's a weekly requirement with Student Senate. Well, quite frankly, they're not really coming forward with a lot of stuff. Plus, on top of it, it's setting us back academically. So we believe that it only needs to meet once a month, and we're gonna try to disseminate content through FIST Senate to give to Vice President Nichols to disseminate to the tables. That's the whole idea of this process. So I met with Colin Lessig at the Sun Prairie Media Center, who's helping me understand the jurisdiction between Madison College and Sun Prairie Media Center to create a bill in the Wisconsin state legislation to protect the Sun Prairie FM radio tower as an archive from the Sun Prairie explosion. That's what hashtag Sun Prairie QRF is. And also, the show is going to launch under the authority of the Fist of Senate Incorporated PAC. The views are separate from the Madison College Student Senate for preserving the Sun Prairie Media Center as a crisis communication overwatch in times of disaster, as witnessed during the Sun Prairie explosion. This, for the Transparency Act reasons, is my filmmaking at UW-Milwaukee that I've been recusing myself for. Reason why I'm recusing myself is that as the legislative representative, I should not be getting involved in Senate's affairs. However, I do have my own political affairs outside of this arena, and I have every right under the First Amendment to represent those affairs through social media live stream. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Burt, for that detailed report. I would ask if anybody has any questions or comments to Teams or email Vice President Burt. We will now move to International Student Affairs Committee. Senator Sindar.
So International Students Ad Hoc Committee meet with Center International Education 2 weeks ago. It was a hybrid format. We bring two priorities, one of them about language proficiency. It wasn't clear who need to take language proficiency, is only for international students or our all American students. And they agree with us. In the website, they will update and they will add, this is include every single student. And the other thing was, we have an insurance. We are working with United Health. And the first times when we need to get our insurance card, we need to log in some website. As a second language English user, first time in America, navigate is hard. That's why we tell them we have some issues to navigate and we need some extra language options to navigate these papers. And they communicate with the United Health, and United Health told us they can help us. So in the next meeting, we will try to decide which language in first priority we should start to give extra. I think I have 6 language, which is most used in worldwide. And I just want to say our next meeting will be October 28th. So second week of month, Tuesdays, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., we are meeting with CA, with the director of CA. And the last Tuesday of the month, we are meeting as a students in the CA office. And as a students, we are trying to find our priorities and how can we improve things. And with the CA, we are presenting them and trying to find roadmap. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Sindar. I would ask that when you do get the data, that you find a way to get it down and compartmentalize it and save it so that we can reflect upon it later on. Because I think you're going to do some good work and it'd be interesting to read what people say to you, the students have responded to you. We will now move to reports from regional metro campuses. And we will go right back to Senator Sindar for his Reedsburg metro campus.
Yep, so this Tuesday I did a tabling in Reedsburg campuses. In the same time when I was tabling, we have extra tabling. One of them was writing center, one of them was their parent-student supporting service, and one of them was advising service. I just realized writing center, before COVID, we have writing center in Reedsburg campus, but right now we don't have. They are bringing us writing center opportunities, but this is mostly virtual, and I think there's not a lot of advertisement about it, and I don't think all the students are aware about it. And the second thing, I spoke one student, who transferred from Mid-State Technical College to Richburg campus for nursing program. She mentioned that she couldn't find clinic placement in Baraboo. So in Baraboo, they have clinic placement. I think clinic is something like internship for people who study nursing, but I think there's no space for lady, and she need to drive all the way from Madison, Baraboo to Madison. I am investigating on it because she told me that she's a parent student, has 2 kids, and it's so hard to drive 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I'm investing on it. And also, I just want to bring that they have student parent support coordinator. They also interested to come one day student senate, and they are doing great jobs. They are providing free stuff for parent students.
All right, well, we would love to hear from them and invite them over to have some comment with the student senate. So thank you, Senator Sindar, for that report. We're going to move to Watertown, which is vacant for the time being, and now we will go to Portage for Senator McRae.
Hi, everybody. Tang and I are getting together. I'm trying to figure out a date when I can table there. And also, I'm working with Vice President Burt on trying to get a listening station, maybe upgoing on our regional campuses. I'm hoping to like pilot a lot of these things and then spread it to all the other regional campuses. They're very similar. So that's great. We do have a writing center. So I'm pretty sure that person is just part-time staff. But we do have a lot of resources. And as far as the food pantry goes, we do have a food closet. And it's, for the size of my campus, it is decent. And I fill it as often as possible whenever we have the food drives. And I spoke with Callie. She has given us the space that is approved.
Okay.
So if we want to move forward with that, we need to know who we need to talk to. That's all I have for now.
Thank you, Senator.
Yeah, thank you very much, Senator McRae. The food closet, if it be stocked anymore, if there's anything else we can do here.
No, it's great, yeah. Yeah. We even have like some free gear for people, like some backpacks and.
All right, let's keep eyeing on that for us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Senator McRae. All right, Fort Atkinson is vacant for the time being, but we're gonna move to Goodman South, Senator Bauer, for our branch metro campus. Goodman South.
The Goodman South campus, we learned that the EMS program that was happening over at Goodman South is no longer happening, which opened up an important simulation space that wasn't prior being able to be used. So they're happy about being able to utilize that classroom. They're starting to prepare the classrooms in preparation for when the early education people move out for next semester. So I'm still waiting to hear more about that. And then there's a couple of us students who are trying to get together some non-perishables at Goodman South to help with the food pantry drive at the Goodman South location. So I know that we kind of have that going on the side, but other than that, Goodman South is cool. Just needs more parking always.
Thank you, Senator Bauer, and I'll echo the same sentiment that keep an eye on that. If there's anything that we can do at any levels or anything changes, please just let us know.
Thank you.
We will now move to reports from College Assembly and Shared Governance Councils. College Assembly Vice President Mattson.
College Assembly has not met since I last provided a report. College Assembly will next meet on November 12th, the second Wednesday of next month. If you're interested in taking the College Assembly seat that I'm currently holding, as it was said earlier, we're looking for applications. If you're curious, just ask me what is College Assembly. I'll tell you what I've experienced and what I know about it. That's all.
Thank you, Vice President Matson. Is there any questions that regards to the College Assembly that you can answer right now? In person or online?
One
Senator
question.
Gray.
How often do you meet? Once a month. Once a month. Thank you.
And then with that, we will now move to our Academic Council. Senator Batulia.
We have not met since my last report. We meet next on November 13th.
All right. Thank you very much. Are you ready?
I have not yet been able to attend a FPIC meeting, so no report.
I'm sorry. We're gonna move to item D, Finance Council, Senator Larson, who is excused, so we will now move to item E, Information Technology Council, Senator McRae.
We have not met yet. We will be meeting on the 26th, 27th, next Monday.
Next Monday? We should send out those invites and, of course, attend that. Monday's kind of an off day, we'll see what we can do. Thank you, Senator McRae. We're gonna
Thank you.
move to Student Affairs Council, Vice President Ari Nichols.
Yeah, so, let me actually get this pulled up real quick, because I totally should have got this right beforehand, but definitely didn't. So, we talked a lot about student belonging during the, what's it called, during Student Affairs Council. They actually had a report and some sort of info breakdown for us, which I am going to share with you guys the second I find it. There it is. And so, it was pretty simple. One thing that was said during it that I kind of just want to reiterate now that he's gone is that so there was a bit of a we went around and we sort of went through the ideas that people had for how to improve student belonging. And one of those ideas was actually, interestingly enough, less student autonomy with clubs and with student government. There's a feeling amongst some faculty and staff that a lot of these organizations need to actually be reined in and more controlled by faculty because they are inefficient. And that is something that was said, and I just wanted to share that with all of you guys.
Interesting.
Just have a question.
Vice President Brad.
Thank you. So let me get this straight, for the record. Faculty believes that they should have oversight over our student committees, is that correct? Or student organizations, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the overall
Senator
consensus.
McRae, would you like to be recognized to speak?
No. Go ahead.
Senator Rogers.
You just clarified complete autonomy over,
So they want more, or I shouldn't say they want more, I should say there was an expressed opinion in having more control over the student organizations and clubs. So they would not take all of the autonomy, and so a lot of things would be decided by students, but there would be less of it.
Understood. I'm gonna go to Senator McRae, your next in queue.
Was this the opinion, the total opinion?
No. So there was not ever a point where people agreed or disagreed with it. I know myself and Cole both had our own thoughts on it, as well as some of the other people that were present. I would say, just based off of who reported it, there was about 4 or 5 members of the committee that felt that way. I will be honest, without watching back the video, I could not tell you who those people are.
Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna go in the order the hands were raised, and I do believe Senator Rogers was first, and then it will go to Vice President Quinn Matson. Senator Rogers, you are recognized.
do you expect any action to be taken on the sentiment or it to impact us in any way?
I do not. I'll be completely honest. I shared this simply because I felt that this is something all of you should know, as it's my job to report what is said to you guys. I do not think that they will actually act on this, nor do I think that any of the people that express these opinions were actually in any position of power to act upon it. And I know some of the higher ups, such as Tim Casper, actually quite loves how we run and thinks we're doing an amazing job. So I am not concerned about this becoming an actual issue. again, just because it's my duty to report it all to you guys, I wanted to make it known.
And then we'll end our
Good job.
question, well, we can extend more time if needed, but let's get you right in there. Let's right on that.
Before I comment, just clarification, they want more, they were advocating for more oversight because we were inefficient. So they want more oversight for the purpose of making us more
That was
efficient.
one of the ideas brought up. That was not the only one. So again, at the time, we were discussing a lot about student belonging, ironically enough. And it was felt that some of the gaps seen in the student belonging survey would be able to be closed by doing such.
So they think we're not efficiently addressing student belonging.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't sound like an issue of efficiency or oversight. It sounds like an issue of our purview or maybe our intentions. So they think we should be helping deal with a student sense of belonging. That is not really where we're aiming. That's not at least our primary aim, I think, right now. Advocating for student needs, we've not identified a sense of belonging as being the primary student need. That's if they'd like to inform us that that is in fact a primary student need and that should be our focus. We should have some of these people in the talk because I'm open to the idea. How you
Senator Bauer.
So there is a time constraint, and I would entertain motion to extend the time. I do have a record of the queue of who raised their hand and the questions that I'm going to be going through, but with respect. Senator Jackson, you mentioned the time.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. I'd entertain a second. Senator Rogers. I'd open up for discussion in person or online. Hearing none, seeing none. Take a vote in unanimous consent in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Motion is passed. Time has been extended by 5 minutes, and we'll go straight to Senator Crowder. You were the first one up. Then after Senator Crowder, we're going to go to Senator Bowers, and then after Senator Bowers, I do believe it was Senator Rogers. Nope, okay.
Thank
Senator
you.
Crowder, you have the floor.
So I guess my first thought is that the state statute specifically, I know protects student senate because of our rights. And then my next thought is in regards to the organizations and clubs and the teachers feeling as if or whoever with the trying to improve the student belonging. I wonder, I'm saying this wrong, but I wonder if it's possibly because they want to form more occupation-based clubs. Kind of like how the Skills USA is, where they're taking the students to, based on their particular field. And I'm not saying that I'm for it or against it, but I'm just wondering if that's the angle that they're possibly looking at approaching. And then just the last part that came to mind is, how many people in here have heard them talk about clubs or organizations when you came into your class and you had your introduction? Because I think that would make a huge difference right there if they, talked about the things that are available on campus that involve belonging. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Crowder, for that comment. And we will now go to Senator Bauer.
My comment was just gonna be, if there is a recording of this meeting, are we able to listen to it so we can kind of hear where they're coming from?
There is a recording.
How, as like the including belonging corner,
How do
I
we
can
get
address
access to
it.
it?
Yeah, like
That's a good
address.
question.
Yeah,
Ari and I can look into seeing how we can actually get access to it.
okay. I just.
I will make sure we get access to it.
Thank you.
I'm just going to make clear that student and teacher affairs is a conflict of interest, that the faculty does not have any governance over us. So they need to abide by Madison College policy when making these kind of claims. So that would then go before my committee, and in my committee, I'm saying these instructors have a conflict of interest.
For the record stated, and now we will go to Senator Sindar.
Yep.
I have it.
So, if I understand this initiative also will affect the students who choose us and make us sit here. And I think if there is initiative or chance to make this happen, I think we need to let students know as well. what's going on. That's what I told.
Sounds good. Before I move on to Senator McCray, was anyone else in the queue waiting with a comment?
Ari, do you feel that we will need, to have a conversation again?
About this topic, I
Like, bring them in?
So I think that it would be, for one, I think that we should have all faculty that are involved in student matters speak to at some point. As for them directly, I could see it being of interest. I also could see, since Student Affairs does a lot, getting some of those organizers in to sort of more discuss it in general. As for this directly, I would assume, I don't believe currently there would be enough to fill a real public comments time, any better than, this of what's happening right now, just asking me questions. However, if this is for some reason brought up again, or if this is something that does end up becoming an issue, then yes, I will make sure to work with those people to get them in here, so that we can talk to them.
I also want to say point of order. We have a comment online that we need to read into the record. And I second this idea from Senator Crowder.
Senator Crowder commented that maybe we should watch the video at a meeting and then discuss. To respond to your comment, I think that's a great idea, and we'll discuss that at our next executive council meeting tomorrow when we're talking about future GA agendas. Advisor Cole Calio-Crowder.
No problem. To go off of Ari's point, which I think is definitely something that can realistically be done, is that you could invite, Penny Johnson and Bill Doherty. So Penny Johnson is a faculty member, Bill Doherty is the registrar. You could definitely invite them in to talk with them about it, because what VP Nichols has stated, what y'all are talking about, the main conversation that you're hearing, which isn't the fact of can students actually help themselves with a sense of belongingness, also was coming from majority part-time faculty individuals who, truth be told, as you look at it, non-staff member too, I don't know their direct connection to students much anymore. So I think that if you all want to seek more of those conversations, or you do want to explore hey, what was this about? We could reach out to Bill Doherty and Penny Johnson just to say, hey, can we talk about this a bit more with this conversation? So just put that out there for y'all.
Yeah, sounds good. If I might add my own comment really quickly, that perhaps not more oversight, but if student clubs, especially small clubs, or orgs had more support to do outreach and were given more direction, maybe that would help help them create a more sense of belonging. I'll go to Senator Bauer, and I believe that needs to be our last comment.
Sure. I did the student orientation over the summer where we did advertise some of these clubs and organizations. And then I also work on the ELT team specifically for the Goodman South, but I oversee 14 of the clubs and organizations. There's some that do really, really well being student-led, and there's others that really, really struggle that need the help of advisors. And it's hard to find that middle ground. I'm curious as to where they're getting it from and what organizations that they're wanting more oversight, because there's some that I think might benefit from it, but there's also ones that I think are doing great on their own, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good for everyone to circle around and watch the meeting, and we'll be able to hear it, and we'll be able to conclude, a personalized view of what it is that you think it was said and how it was said. But we're going to go ahead and move now to our topic of hand of new business. Before we do that, it was no unfinished business was brought to my attention, and with being confirmed no unfinished business, we will now move into new business of Resolution 001, LGBTQ+ Safety and Belonging. Senator Ash Rogers and Vice President of Public Relations Ari Nichols. Resolution. We'll give you guys the floor. How much time is needed here?
So this is a resolution, and as you'll see reflected within the whereas clauses, it was fielded from concerns that I heard within GSA while tabling. I tabled with Ari Nichols. We spoke with the president and we proposed a question of what change would you like to see in the Madison College community to help make it a more LGBTQ inclusive space. And the things that we heard are predominantly what you will see reflected in the resolution. I've coordinated with Cole, I've coordinated with multiple of our VPs, and we feel that this is a good resolution. So,
adding comment to that, well, majority of these were brought up to us during the GSA meeting that we attended. Upon review, we found that a lot of the things asked for were some things that had already been asked for by students, and that quite frankly had felt overlooked. Even within the Senate itself, we had discovered that there were resolutions from last year that stated that Senate should be already working with GSA to do things like this. And so while that is not something we knew going in, I do feel it's important for us to note that this is something that has been talked about and said it should be done before, yet this action to do so was never taken.
and now I can go ahead and read it.
Yep, so you have to do a full read top to bottom.
And then we do amendments after that reading period.
Right.
Awesome. Formal motion, LGBTQ safety and belonging, section 1, primary reasoning. Whereas A, the items presented herein reflect concerns gathered during tabling with the Gender and Sexuality Alliance, the primary concern being lack of institutional support. Second, whereas LGBTQ students may feel unsafe at Madison College due to instances of misgendering and insufficient staff intervention. Whereas 3, 14% of respondents to the relevant section of the annual demographic information form identified as LGBTQ. 4, in previous years, student groups, as well as the Student Senate, have requested the establishment of a column room. 5, there's lack of Madison College policy sufficiently addressing the needs of LGBTQ students. 6, Madison's Equal Opportunity Ordinance protects LGBTQ students at the metro campuses, but there is no Madison College policy providing comparable support for regional campuses. Whereas the district board has already approved a plan by Sylvia Ramirez to remodel a second floor bathroom to be more inclusive. Section 2, commitments. Be it enacted by the Student Senate of Madison College assembled that 1, urging Madison College update its annual staff training courses to include the following lessons. Staff are educated whom to refer students to change legal names and list so on their syllabus. B, staff and faculty be aware legal names may appear on rosters and try to reach out to students to hear what they want to be called. C, trainings on how to manage someone being misgendered in the classroom. 2, requesting staff members who are supportive of LGBTQ individuals takes time to add a note indicating them as being inclusive to their class descriptions in student-facing class descriptions. 3, compelling enrollment services to allow students to choose which name appears in Madison College documentation. 4, emphasizing that a designated room be created as a calm room inside Truex that is open during campus hours. It will be a safe space free of judgment and equipped with sensory aids such as fidgets and lights that can dim, and will be inclusive of all students. It shall be available to students within the near future. Or did you want to say your thing?
Yeah. Real quick, Cole, if you can pull up. Yep. So this is something that I know, kind of gonna go out of order here, but so we've said the term calm room twice now, and I kind of want to give you an idea of what that actually is going to be. So this is a very quick photo that I took of what we know as the student family study rooms. And so there's a couple of them around Truex, and these are spaces that are just very simply just have a couple of things in there for young children as well as a computer for the student parent to study at while their child is entertained. And I sort of looked at these along with Ash Rogers and some of the other senators. And we figured and felt that if we were to take this sort of style and expand it and place them more around the campus and even eventually, hopefully at the branch campuses, that these could actually be a great way to create calm rooms or, decompression spaces. So that's something that's been asked for by students for a while now. You can go back through, pretty much the school's entire existence, and people have wanted spaces that aren't labeled for studying, but that are still private, so that they can sort of, relax, calm down, and avoid mental distress. A big thing that we're going to talk about this year is mental health. And while we decided to include it in this bill, I want to state that this is not an issue that's only the LGBTQ community suffers from. Mental health plagues many people throughout the college, and we believe that focusing and creating spaces that can help avoid panic attacks and anxiety-induced episodes, not only will benefit the college, but will overall make this a better and more desirable place for students. I'm sure we'll talk more about what these actually are in a little bit and how we want to implement them. But I just want you to all understand right now that if we're talking about calm rooms, this is sort of what we're thinking of, and that this is something that's been asked for before. May continue.
Thank you, Art. VP Art. 5, asking Madison College to define hate speech and emphasizing safety for LGBTQ students for all forms of hate speech within all campus spaces. 6, authoring of a second equity and inclusion plan with a focus on supporting LGBTQ students due to a rise in harassment and violence against their community. 7, necessitating that a designated staff member at Madison College be assigned to speak up, speak out, to work with LGBTQ students on their concerns. 8, prescribing that during June, the pride flag be flown to be more inclusive. 9, expecting that janitors do not lock the gender-neutral bathrooms after cleaning so they're available while students are on campus. 10, stressing that Senate supports and encourages the remodel of the second floor restroom undertaken by the district board to be more inclusive. Subsection A, ensuring signs are gender inclusive on gender-neutral bathrooms. 11, stressing that all sections herein are revisited at the beginning of the spring 2026 semester by Student Senate. And conclusion, upon passage, the Madison College Student Senate shall support all ideas within this resolution equally in the hopes to support a better and more inclusive learning environment for all students.
May I?
No.
You're pretty good.
Now we move into the portion of voting on the resolution.
So
We'll open up for discussion first. And then-
almost. Yep, so that's why I wanted to clarify the point of information, is that now this needs to be motioned and seconded to move into discussion.
All right, so now I will entertain a motion to move this into discussion as it is now. With no amendments.
Yep, I do.
I can-
Vice President?
Yep, I can,
Motion to bring to the
yeah,
floor.
I motion to bring it to the floor, yes.
Okay,
Who says? Mattson, and who else?
I would entertain a second.
I second the
Motion. Senator McGregor. Now I open that up for discussion.
There you go.
To bring the motion into discussion.
Can I motion to introduce a friendly amendment to the resolution?
At this time of the.
Hang on, we're gonna go into like talking about it now, right,
And
correct?
then at that time, we can amend it. Yep.
Yes,
So
so.
right now, we just gotta get
It
into
is a
discussion.
Yes.
So, is that okay, Senator Rogers? All right, any discussion on moving this motion into discussion, in person or online? Senator Crowder, you're recognized.
Thank you. I was wondering how many students were surveyed?
We're not moving into discussion yet.
So we're not at the point of discussing, the resolution right now. We're just, voting to move the resolution into discussion.
No, you don't have to. So, nice.
Advisor Cole?
Yep, so now, so y'all are on the right path. So once it was motioned and seconded, it is brought to the floor. There's no vote to bring it to the floor. It's just now it's out there to be discussed, so on and so forth. Correct. So now what'll happen is discussion can take place, questions, so on and so forth. And once we believe this is set, and if there are friendly amendments that are made that are accepted by the authors, but also by those that motioned and seconded it, we can end discussion, which would then move us into a vote. That's correct. So as right now, the floor is open for discussion on this as a whole. And yes, friendly amendments can occur if you recognize them.
Thank you, Advisor Cole, for clarification. We are now at the point of discussion of the resolution. So with that, we will give this first question to Senator Crowder, and then Senator Rogers, we will come to you for your amendment to the resolution. So yep, Senator Crowder, I do believe we will ask you to restate your question, please.
So I was wondering how many students were responded to the survey?
You're referring to the one in the whereas clause for the annual demographic information form? I submitted
No,
a.
the
No?
one that were from your tabling.
The tabling event was attended by the entirety of GSA. I'd estimate 20 people. I wasn't counting, don't have
I
exact
didn't
number.
count either.
No, I
whatever-
mean this, the survey that was completed? Because I feel like that's a potential question that would come up as to how many students responded to the survey from the tabling.
So there was no direct
Do
survey.
you mean, I'm sorry, hang on. Do you mean the, where we got the 14% number?
No, I know that the 14% is the demographics. I totally understand that. I'm talking about the statement that's made about feedback gathered during collaborative, or actually that's my word changing. But the feedback that was gathered from students. So how
Correct,
many
there wa-
students completed the feedback or provided the feedback?
There was no survey and there's been no digital direct documentation of that. That was something that was completed in person during GSA's standard meeting time, which is a Monday for about an hour. And we did a half-hour tabling event where we gave a question to them. They talked within their groups and then they responded and I took notes, which was the basis for this resolution. We don't have an exact number, but our estimation would be around 20 people attended that in-person event.
So what I can say on that, Crowder, as well, is that if it is really something you wanted, I'm sure we can find some sort of attendance record for it. But as was stated, this was more or less we went around and said, hey, what are some issues that you feel need to be addressed? Just in general groups amongst themselves. We tried to do that to ensure that the answers were more natural and had more, I don't want to say personality behind them, I'm sure there's a much better word for it, but had more, I guess, truth behind them. Instead of locking them into boxes on what we could do and what we couldn't do, we wanted to see what they would want us to do.
Already jogged my memory. There is an attendance record. I can pull that for you if you're interested.
Yeah, the only thing I guess I was trying to get across is that I worry that we're using the student demographic in number 3, but then we didn't try and get more of the student demographic results. So I mean, I won't keep going on it.
Yeah, Senator Crowder, I'm just gonna have to respect the time here and I'm gonna make sure that everybody gets a question in. But if there is a moment, we will get back to you. And Senator Ivan?
Yeah, I have a question about the number 3. So I don't understand very well the statement. So that means, for example, my name is Aida Wilmo, and I prefer that the people call me Casimira. So in the documentation, if the Madison College had to say, I want the Casimira or Aida. I don't understand, is that the legal name, the ID, or just a preferred name?
Currently, if you want to, there is a process through Madison College for you to go in and change the name that is on all documentation.
Mm-hmm.
What this would do is allow students the opportunity post-enrollment to talk to enrollment services and get name changed on informal documentation that is presented by Madison College while still having a legal name on formal documentation such as the diploma. So that way the exact concern that was fielded or that we heard from GSA with students who are not out to their parents can still use their legal name with their parents, but then can have a their preferred name on like Brightspace or something like that, or whatever service Madison College uses in the future.
Oh, got it.
Any other questions? Senator?
As someone who is LGBT and who is in a lot of spaces that have grown more, or has more inclusion, I have seen that when that happens and spaces become more friendly to those individuals, harassment starts to pick up. And I'm wondering if you have any plan for if this is voted into action, if we start to see harassment start to pick up in the school, what would be the plan to combat that?
Yeah, so I'll comment on that one actually. So that is something I directly said when we were started on this bill. Because that is something I've noticed happens not just here, but in a lot of places. And so, quite frankly, disappointingly, there is little we can do to curb people's ideals or what they want to do. What we can do is safety. So part of this that was not mentioned, because we wanted to focus more on creating belonging within this, is also ensuring that resources that we do create and do use are not misused by people that would use them for ill intentions, and also ensuring and working with public safety here as well as any other organization to make sure that students feel safe in those spaces that we're trying to create. A great example of that is actually one of our whereas clauses. So where we mentioned having some teachers identified with sort of, I don't want to call them markers saying that they're LGBT friendly, but that would most likely be is sort of an example of showing that this teacher has taken training to understand how to deal with these situations, right? And so
Don't mean to cut you off, Vice President, but I will entertain a motion to extend the time. Senator Sanjay Jagadish, seconded by Senator Sindar. Any discussion on extending the motion in person or online? By 10 minutes? Any,
You understand, you're around 10 minutes, right? 6:22.
8 minutes.
8 minutes? 8 minutes, any discussion on 8 minutes in person or online? Seeing none, hearing none, I'll take a vote, consent in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Motion passed. Time has been extended.
great, thank you. So I guess to finish off my thought, what I mean to say is we are going to take steps within the college resources and within community resources to ensure that these spaces are kept safe and kept free of harassment, as those are major concerns that came up during this sort of thing.
I'll also refer you to subsection 6, which has a second equity and inclusion plan, which would provide institutional supports by the college. And then I've also reached out to public safety, and there's also subsection 5. So we are making efforts to make sure that doesn't happen.
Senator Sindar.
So right now I'm working in Institute of Transformation, Change and Equity. I'm a research assistant, and about this, if you need any researchers, extra researchers, I believe this office, it's really good to can provide you a lot of data or data set. And also I want to make a comment. I think it's a great resolution because I like gender neutral restrooms and extra space for myself.
Thank you, Senator Sindar. All right, with that, if there's not any other comments, or
Just a quick question.
yes, Senator.
For the paid spaces, is that for everyone?
Yes.
Or- Okay. Just asking.
Yes, no, everyone would be allowed to use them whenever they wanted, hopefully, in a perfect world.
I'm gonna have to get Senator McRae, Senator Sindar, and then I'll give you the last quick comment before we move to vote. Senator
Just
McRae.
real quick, you said there was no survey like filled out.
Not for GSA.
That's fine. You said there's 2 of those currently, and you showed us the picture, right?
Yes.
As a student parent myself, are those, they're in operation, like are they stocked with anything?
They have, so currently, I believe, I've not been in one myself.
Okay.
From quickly glancing inside of them, they seem to have a computer and and then like toys and coloring books for young children. I would like to mention as well, with these sort of calm rooms that we want to create, that these would be separate from these parent-student facilities, as we still want to value those spaces for them, but then also sort of take the idea that I feel was well implemented and implement it on a broader scale.
Thanks, Senator McRae. Senator Ida, we will definitely get you in first, and I'm gonna give you the last comment, okay?
What do you mean?
Because we're gonna extend it. I want you to have the last comment. Do you want to comment right now?
No, okay, it's fine.
Okay.
So I just want to make a suggestion. It's possible that you can work also with the international center, because for example, there are a couple countries that they don't know too much information or education about it. So maybe one international student can arrive here, and maybe you can understand that they try to arise, or it's not right, it's just no education about it. For example, in my country, we don't have pronouns. So it's an issue because so many people want that is their pronouns is she, he, or they, or something that they want to be called like that. Or for example, we don't manage the pronouns, so maybe it can be like offensive for some or people. Maybe just education for the international ones. That
course.
they know nothing about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is definitely something that, we want to make sure that that every student feels respected here, right? And so that is definitely something that I will make sure to work with international students on, and make sure to work with the Center for International Education on, as well as sort of those identity clubs, so that all people sort of can understand the reasoning, and that way we can sort of break down any cultural barriers that may exist that, we don't want to exist.
So now we will end it with our Senator Reedsburg, Senator Pecan Sandar.
Thank you. So I just want to let you know that outside of the parents' room, we also have some rooms, exact same with the parents' room. It's one of them is, the honor department is over there. We have one room and it's exactly like parent room, but there's nothing as a parent. I just want to let you know that maybe you would like to start from there.
Perfect. Yes, thank you.
Advisor Cole?
You all mentioned that there were potentially amendments that you wanted to seek forward, is that correct?
Yes, you should have a highlighted copy that has each of the sections that we want to amend.
Let me pull this up quick so you can.
Yeah.
Information for the committee. I made a mistake and gave a outdated file to Quinn, so this is just the small errors that would need to be updated to make it its most current form.
And if I hear this correctly, what's highlighted are just grammatical errors?
Grammatical and spelling mistakes.
Yes.
Grammatical and spelling, they do not change the message of the.
It would change, no intention or meaning would be changed, or it shouldn't be changed, it's just,
The update.
yeah. We're bad at naming files.
Right. Thank you, Advisor Cole. And I would, are you motion to amend?
Yes.
I would entertain a second.
I'll second.
Second by Vice President Aaron Nichols. I open for discussion in person or online for the amendment of the resolution. Senator Crowder?
So my understanding of introducing a resolution is that we introduce it, go, read through it, and we don't need to do amendments right now because we can't vote on it today.
So my understanding was that that bills were the only ones that had to wait 1 week unless there was going to be a unanimous vote that would take place. For resolutions, they can be opened, read, and voted on within the same period. I mean, I
will defer to you.
You're good. Just, I remember that with last year, with many of the stuff that we kind of brought forward, that as long as we were able to have the full length discussion, if we weren't going to cut the discussion short, I don't believe unless somebody can pull up the bylaws real quick.
I'll do it if you need to.
We extended the discussion.
No, I understand that. So if you want to pull up the bylaws to confirm with what Senator Crowder is stating, go to the sheriff's point and just review. But my understanding is resolutions can be voted on same day as they're entertained and brought to the floor. But it should also be done in a way that we're ensuring that we have the fullest discussion had and that all questions are answered in an effective way. I do think as we look this up, one thing that would be beneficial, just a point of information for you all, is to state what are the grammatical changes. Because that way, for folks who are online, they might see that this is here, but they might see that design staff member makes sense. Just what are you directly stating as the grammatical error so that it can be recognized, and I'll update it as we go, as we look that up, okay?
Oh, you want us to start going through the?
Yeah, so start at the top of what you want changed, and we'll begin to start pulling that up.
Just for a point of contact, it's 6:30 would be the time. And,
So
you're under no obligation to stay after point 6:30.
yes, so with that, if that's the case and we have quorum, if we don't have quorum at that point, then we end, everything ends, that's correct.
Should we table this till next meeting?
If you all choose to, you all have to make the
I think
decision.
we should, if you want me to consult the bylaw and resolution and all.
As far as I'm reading in the bylaws right now, a resolution must pass with a simple majority of Senate members in attendance at the time of vote. There's no requirement that it had been presented a week prior. That requirement does exist for a bill, and there are also higher requirements for a bill.
That's correct. Page 32.
I would mention, while I have already commandeered the floor, that unless there is unanimous disagreement with me, I would also support a motion to table until next week, just because I don't want to rush this. It feels important. And I don't want to try and rush through all these little bits and then rush through the big bits.
We're at time.
I'll yield.
Okay, so with that being said.
With that being said, I'd open up for a second. I'd entertain a second motion.
Don't
To
second it.
extend the meeting?
Agrees.
Motion to table it.
Hold on. I think, so the thing that we're caught up in at the moment is that we already have a motion open for this. So what would have to happen is that you have to close discussion and then you'd have the ability to call a table and then table this till later on, just because we do have an open motion. Am I correct in that, Annette?
Yeah, and can someone restate the motion? Because I don't even know what it is. Sorry, because it was that long ago.
No, you're good. So with that being said, for now, you can close discussion. So
I have,
you move to close
I
discussion?
move to close discussion.
Okay,
The discussion has been closed.
okay. So now a motion can be made to table this until next week with the proper
I
process.
have now recognized the motion made by Vice President Quinn Mattson to table this until next week.
Okay.
I would entertain a second by Senator Jagadish. Now I had opened this up for discussion.
Yep.
In person or online. Vice President Quinn Mattson.
I just want to mention that this is out of support for this bill and because I want it to make an impact with other student groups that can consider their way that they can take part in supporting LGBTQ members in their clubs and outside of their clubs. And I want to make a good impact with facilities who are creating these new bathrooms because that's concrete material improvement for some people's lives. I feel nervous trying to rush through this process.
Exactly.
All right, Senator Crowder.
I 100% agree with Quinn. I just think it's really important for us to make sure we put out our best work and, you know, cover any bases that we can so that we're respected and hopefully it gets through the systems that it needs to get through. Thank you.
Any other discussion on the motion of Vice President Ari Nichols?
So to clarify, we do not have to go through and amend the grammar right now. We have already clarified that's what we're going to do, and you have already accepted that. So that is not something we have to individually review now. What we are able to do is extend the meeting by 5 minutes, pass this bill, and then we can begin working on it as we have already started discussion with these people outside of this bill. And so we already have the support. All we need is the rubber stamp of approval from Senate so that we can officially say, hey, this is ready to go and we're going to keep moving through it.
Supervisor Cole.
So process-wise, so because it's been opened up to table the motion, what would happen then is it still has to go to a vote. And based upon kind of what's been discussed here, which I know Jose's used unanimous consent before, we'd have to go to a roll call vote. If that roll call vote ends in the fact of not passing for tabling, we would basically enter back up on the agenda, that could come about. But because this is here now, we have to move into that vote because that motion has been opened and seconded with the discussion.
Correct. I just wanted to state.
No, I know that.
Okay.
Yep, I just want to clarify the process because we're bringing up good stuff here. I think there's just got to make sure we're good with the process.
We also need to make the edits before we vote on it, so people know what they're voting on.
I'm gonna now
We can do that.
I'm gonna move into a vote of roll call. Okay, the vote of roll call, they need to have it, it only needs one name, right?
What?
Wait, can we clarify, are we,
That's the vote.
Hold on, sorry, there's a lot going on here. For roll call vote, it's simple
can
majority.
we clarify what we're voting?
So that means as
The
you
bill
go through it,
or
if you take more than 50% say yes, we will table it till next week. If less than 50% say yes, we remain open right now. Yep, nope, that's fair to ask. Do you want to read from here for checking of?
So it's gonna
yeas and
be
nays,
dropped
or from there?
in the chat.
Call the roll call.
We're gonna have a vote, roll call.
Yep,
It's gonna be yay to table it to next week. It's gonna be nay, not to table it to next week. That is what the
which would
vote's
start,
gonna
which
be.
would been restarted right now.
No, we need 50. So
It's a simple majority
simple
to
majority.
accept it.
Okay,
So Quinn will lead us through with the
And
roll
with
call.
that, we will turn to Vice President Quinn Mattson for the roll call.
Cool. Vice President, Administration Finance, Quinn Mattson. I voted yes to table.
Okay.
Vice President, Legislative Affairs, Brett Diller.
Yay, table.
Vice President, Team Development, Corey Sturgill, abstains. Vice President, Public Relations, Ari Nichols.
Nay.
Senator Sanjay Jagadish.
Aye.
Senator Annette Crowder.
Yes.
Senator Ashley Larson abstains. Senator Nandine Batulga.
Yes.
Senator Ayman Adam Sharafuddin.
Yes.
Senator Ash Rogers.
Nay.
Senator Donovan Juarez.
Nay.
Senator Abri Holty,
Nay.
Senator Ida Wilmo,
Nay.
Senator Sierra Brunner,
Abstain.
Senator John McCray,
Nay.
Senator Furkan Sindar,
Nay. Nay.
nay. Senator Bethany Bauer,
Can I abstain?
yes. I have it as this remains open. The motion to table does not pass.
Okay.
Did not pass?
Did not pass.
Does not pass.
Okay. With that being said, I would entertain a motion to extend the meeting.
I motion to extend the meeting by 5 minutes.
Motion made by Vice President Ari Nichols to extend the meeting by 5 minutes. I would second it. I would entertain a second motion by Senator, to motion
Ida
by
will,
5 minutes.
second by Ida.
Ida, by Senator Ida. With that, I open up discussion in person or online. Senator, Vice President Quinn Matson.
Can we make it 10 so we don't have to do it twice?
Yeah, sounds great.
Senator Ida, would you accept 10 for your second on that motion? Okay. So with that, is there any other discussion in person or online? All right, hearing none, seeing none, I take a vote in unanimous consent. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Motion is passed. The meeting will be extended for another 10 minutes to 6:48.
Great. I motion to vote on the bill, or vote on the resolution, sorry.
So
Move
just
into
a
the
call
amendment
the-
period first.
What is he doing?
No, we don't need to.
Can you speak? I can't hear.
Yeah,
He wants to motion to.
Okay. So the statement that was made is move to vote. Ash had brought up amending.
That's not a bill, it's a resolution.
So with that being said, you're stating that as it reads, I'll read it, I'll just read it up here to make it easier. So to be clear, then what you're stating is everything that is stated here, folks understand what you're meaning by this. Therefore, you're confident going to the vote
Yes.
based on the dictation that is
yes,
here.
yes. Everyone understands that everything that is highlighted and would be edited is simply grammatical and spelling errors. And that I believe you all understand that, and that you are able to understand it anyways, and we should vote on it, correct?
Point of order, record Truex is spelled wrong. Highlight that, please. Thank you. Truex is with an
Senator Jagadish?
Yes.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
there's additional things, yeah.
Understood. With that, would you like to open up your amendment to add all grammatical errors?
Yes, all grammatical errors.
All right, motion made.
A. Nichols. Okay. Motion second.
Do that, can we edit? So we-
Yeah.
It is. What was the question, man?
We're going to vote on the Nichols. So we vote and then it has to be added.
We can't fix it.
As long as you all accept the friendly amendment to the grammatical changes, yes. Yes, that is correct. With the grammatical changes, last year precedent that was set is that as long as it was agreed upon, the grammatical errors were adjusted accordingly and that it's understood what they mean by the changes to those, yeah, it can be done. Was how it was set last year, as long as everybody's in agreement. So that way, as of right now, if you don't agree, if you don't understand something that's up there, this is your time to voice that of, like VP Bird had pointed out for Truax. If there's something up here where you're just like, what does this mean? This is the time to adjust that. So I guess point of information I'm just going to put out there just to help along with this. 2 things to be clarifying of. Under action point 7, necessitating that it's a designated staff member. It's designed, just want to be clear, a designated staff member. And then for point number 8, pride flag will be flown to be more inclusive. So just things I want to clarify just so we can be there. And if, again, if you don't understand, if you have questions, this is now the time to ask as well. I yield back to you.
Vice President Quinn Matson, did you have your hand up?
Behind you.
Vice President Burt Brett.
Item 5, hate speech. What exactly is that for? Is that for just a definition, or is it trying to recognize hate speech as, in a way, suppressive of the First Amendment?
Hate speech as in targeting and verbal harassment of people, yes.
Could you define that, please?
I cannot, because I am not a lawyer having a legal precedent. That is something we would leave to be defined by the college.
Okay. Thanks for answering that.
Any other discussion?
So if you want to move to a vote.
Hearing none and seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to move to a vote.
I motion.
Oh, could that raise their hand?
Did
Sundar?
Senator Crowder have a hand?
Yeah.
I had my hand up for a question.
Senator Crowder, you are recognized, the floor is yours.
Okay, and I guess maybe it's not so much of a question. I understand that we're in a rush with this, for whatever reason. And I guess it's just disappointing because as the student senate, I don't think we should be rushing on anything that we are putting out. That we should have it not perfect, but, whatever word is right after not perfect. So, but I appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you, Senator Crowder. That was noted and will be stated for the record. Is there any other discussion? Okay. Advisor Cole?
Yep, so just for motion purposes, you can now call the question of this, which means that we move into a roll call vote. So that is the next step.
Okay. I do that. I call the question.
Okay.
A roll call vote.
So you call the question, roll call vote. Roll call vote will be conducted.
Who's seconding this?
Who is
But,
seconding?
to call the question doesn't need a second. It just moves us immediately into the vote
All right,
itself.
so we have a motion for, motion to vote on the resolution, so we need a second for that. It's the
Correct.
same
So
motion.
because we were continuing with the same discussion,
Okay,
all we did was close the discussion. So technically now we're at a point where we can move to the vote. So to call the question was that move to a vote within this motion.
thank you.
Question. Yep.
Appreciate it.
So now we'll move into the roll call vote, exactly how VP Mattson had done before.
So we were now going to move to a roll call vote, and Vice President Quinn Mattson is going to read off.
I'll keep track on my end because I have it pulled up right here. If that makes it easier for you.
Either way.
Okay.
Okay. Voting on this resolution. Thank you. Vice President, Administration and Finance, Quinn Mattson. I'm going to abstain. Vice President, Legislative Affairs, Bradley Byrd.
Abstain.
Vice President, Team Development, Corey Sirksel. Abstains as well. Vice President, Public Relations, Ari Nichols.
Yay.
Senator Sanjay Jagadish.
Abstain.
Senator Annette Crowder.
Nay.
Senator Ashley Larson abstains. Senator Nadine Batulga.
Abstain.
Senator Ayman Adam Sharafuddin.
Yes.
Senator Ash Rogers.
Yay.
Senator Donovan Juarez.
Abstain.
Senator Avery Holte.
Yay.
Senator Ida Wilmo.
Yay.
Senator Sierra Brunner.
Abstain.
Senator John McCray.
Yay.
Senator Furkan Sindar.
Yay.
Senator Bethany Bauer.
I'm gonna abstain.
The ayes have it.
Right.
Okay.
Resolution passed.
The resolution is passed. Ayes have it.
So that's done. You can do your announcements and go into closed out.
Job.
I want to thank everybody for that extra hard work. We did go over by 15 minutes. I do apologize for that. This was good work, hard work, and at no time do I ever want you guys to feel rushed. We're gonna have any housekeeping? Is there any? None that I know of? None that you know of? No housekeeping? Okay, we'll now move to announcements. Our next meeting will be October 30th. 2025 in room C245 at 4:30 p.m. And now if you look in the chat here in a little bit, Senator McRae is going to drop a survey, and it's going to be your availability for a pizza night with your president here in the Student Senate office, all right? And with that, I would open up a motion for adjournment. Senator Sindar, seconded by Senator Jagadish. I now open up for a discussion in person or online. Seeing none, hearing none, take a vote unanimous consent. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everybody, for your hard work.
I will send it in the chat.
Please do. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
You can.
Hey,